Jeremy, you're making a lot of money now. Why are you still driving your shitty old car? Why are you, still dressed so simply? Why don't you get some branded watches or flying first class on every airline? If you think you can afford it, you probably can't. Hey everyone, so today I want to talk about why it's important to not be fancy, okay? And a lot of my friends have been asking me, like, Jeremy, you're making a lot of money now. Why are you still driving your shitty old car? Why are you, still dressed so simply? Why don't you get some branded watches or anything like that? And I personally own a few of these things, but I realized that the happiness only lasts for, a day or two, and it's fleeting. So materialistic things are extremely fleeting. I very much prefer to invest my money into things that can help me achieve freedom sooner, okay? Because achieving freedom, financial freedom, is so much more about dressing like a boss or driving a nice ride or flying first class on every airline. To me, freedom is more like being able to do whatever I want. And I really, really appreciate my freedom. And I'm willing to sacrifice all of these fleeting materialistic happiness to achieve freedom sooner, okay? Because I've got friends my age, my schoolmates previously, they're getting married. They own super fancy watches, they have fancy cars and stuff like that. But they become enslaved to these things because right now most of them are just working every single month to pay back all of these things. So my golden rule of thumb when it comes to buying things is if you think you can afford it, you probably can't afford it. If you have to think about it, you already can't afford it, okay? For example, would you think about it when you're gonna go grab a coffee at a local restaurant? You probably wouldn't. That's because you can truly afford it. But if you have to think something like, oh, I can afford this item if I pay for it over the next 2 years, that's not truly affording it. You can't really afford it. In my opinion, if you can afford something, you don't have to think about it, you just buy it with cash directly. And that's the true meaning of freedom when it comes to buying these things. It can make you happy. Like, I'm gonna admit that fancy watches, nice cars make me happy also, but the sacrifice is just too much because I appreciate my freedom more than short-term materialistic happiness, okay? So that's the message that I'm trying to send out. I think that millennials such as myself have a very skewed way of looking at things because we live in an Instagram era. We're always formal. We look at people's postings and we feel that we're not living the life that we should be living. But you need to remember that stuff that you see on Instagram are the highlights of people's lives, and you will have your highlights as well. It might not be as fancy, you don't go out and seek these things, but these things don't give you lasting happiness, okay guys? I've been young before. I've gone to my fair share of parties. I've bought my fair share of branded products, and what I've learned so far on my entrepreneurial journey is that when it comes to business, you have to keep reinvesting your profits into things that make you more money in the long run. And that's how you can really, accelerate your path to freedom. And that's what I want for all of you. So I hope you take heed of this advice, and I'll see you in the next video, okay? Bye.